Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Blackout Gaming TV. We have a triple header for you tonight. Over on Blackout Gaming TV 2 at 21 CET, there will be Fair Enough versus The Experiment. But over here on the main channel at 21, also we're going to be having Highlander versus Wasp. But right here and right now, we will have Stacked versus Unpoppable. All these games being played on CP Steel. I'm CeeJaey, and with me tonight is friend, teammate, and legendary pyro Steve, with John on the production and camera. Steve, how you doing tonight, man?
Oh shit, are we live?
Fuck. You're not allowed to swear!
Hi. What do I say, CeeJaey? Hello everyone, nice to see you.
You gotta talk about Team Fortress 2, you can.
Oh, TF2, it's that Overwatch clone, right?
It's an Overwatch clone, yeah. It's the superior version. It's a better version of the game. Anyway, we're going to go over talk about these two teams for a little bit. So this is Steel. I don't think we've got too much time before we go live, so we'll have a look at the map in a minute. But this is Unpoppable, currently on 3 points, having won a map against Wasp. Stacked are on 6 points. They won, see if I can get this right, I think they won against Wasp, or something like that. But they have lost 2 of their first 3 games against Tourette's Chess Club and Fair Enough. So the early season favourites aren't on the top of their game at the moment. I do have a lot of mercs. Steve, I'll go over the stacked roster and you give me an idea of what you think. So on Scout they're going to have Sorex. On Soldier they're going to have Hex. On Pyro they're going to have Ferry. On Demo they are going to have Toba, who is a merc. Their heavy is going to be Morty instead of Susie. Hex is also the sub for, on Soldier, I should have said Josh is their main. Hex is playing tonight. On Engineer will be Olba, a second merc, as Beep is away on holiday. On Medic is Admirable. Sniper will be Yaug, their third merc of the night. And on Spy is Isil, who's their new main since Polar Bear left.
Name for a French spy.
Yes, nonetheless. What do you think about those players, Steve?
It's a very, very turbulent roster, especially on a map like Steel. You'd expect, you need players to be kind of have synergy and work together, but it is, Stacked versus Unpoppable, so they can probably just win anyway on the end.
Okay, I mean, this is like, I love that word, turbulent. That is a perfect way to describe this roster so far, because at the start of the season, Stacked looked insanely strong. They had the Lego combo of Sorex and Josh. Breakfast Jr. was supposed to be their pyro for the first half of the season at least. Demo was going to be Hidan, but he's since left Overwatch or streaming, whatever he's turning out to be doing. Their heavy was Susie, but internet issues for him. Engineer is Beep, the leader of the team, but he's away in Australia for the foreseeable future. Sniper was Nesh, but he has since been left for the roster. And their spy was Polar Bear, and he's since left. He's not interested in playing the game anymore. So yeah, I mean, this is, I think, the only people actually who at the start of the season on this roster you would say would be playing were Admirable and Zorex. So huge changes. So we can look at the Unpoppable roster, I guess. They do only have 8.
Oh, they changed their name. I was going to read the Polish name out, but it's gone now. Oh. For anyone interested, it was Grzegorz Brzęczyszkiewicz. Yep. Beautiful Polish name.
Try saying that with a mouthful of grapes. Yeah. So this is a team that not luckily, it's not a word to use, but they played the relegation playoff last season. They did finish second from bottom. Coincidentally, these two teams were 6th and 7th last season, so they were the lowest placed teams in Prem last season.
Was Stacked really 6th? Wow.
Stacked were 6th. Yeah, they did not have a good end to the season. Fair Enough finished in 4th, Wasp finished in 5th, and Stacked were in 6th, yeah. But Unpoppable won the relegation playoff against Team Mad, so that meant they kept their place. And they've kept a majority of their roster from last season. It's not changed that much. Not sure who's going to be playing what class actually at the moment, so I'll go over the ones I know for sure. Got Catman, who will be on heavy. Enya on
the legend.
The man, the legend. The highest damaging heavy from last season. Steve, did you know that? He had the highest damage per minute of any heavy last season.
I think you mentioned him once or 100 times in Mumble.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of people with spotting him out as being good at his tracking, shall
Up
we
and
say?
coming talent,
Up
yeah.
and coming talent, yes. NER will be the medic. Unlimited is a new addition to this season. He used to play for Stacked as well, so playing against a former team of his. He'll be on the demo. Fuzzkey, or Fuzz as he's known now, is on Sniper. Charizard will be the Pyro. As for the rest of the classes, we don't actually have anyone here. I don't know who a... Oh, that's MSH. So MSH will be playing one class, and Shadowburn will be playing another class. Shadowburn's played Scout twice this season and Soldier once.
It's actually
And
Messiah, I think, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was in, like... Oh, yeah, he was in Overwatch as well. And his name was Messiah there, and I made the connection.
So now it's all coming together
Now
for you. So yeah, we'll
knows.
have to see what Shadowburn plays today. Whether it's Scout or Soldier, I'm not sure. I mean, what do you think about Shadowburn? Like, Unpoppable managed to convince him, shall we say, to play this season, and he's been playing Scout, quite a lot in scrims, and 2 out of 3 of the officials. Do you think he's better placed on Scout, or is he more effective on Soldier?
He'd probably do better on Soldier, but I guess the mouse he got wasn't that good, so he just decided to go with Scout.
Yes, I mean, on a map like this, though, Steel, we could talk about Steel. I mean, the big game of the week was played on Wednesday between the top 2 teams in the league, first and second place, respectively. We won't get into much of that, Steve. We don't want to.
Chess Club, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to rake over bad memories. It's fine. A team won, a team lost. Points.
Memories? What?
No. Things happened. We move on. But we are soon going live. So Steel is a map where things can be won and lost on the basis of a couple of mistakes. Who do you see? I'm going to give you ask for an early game prediction between these two teams based on the rosters you've seen and their run so far in the league. Who do you think is going to take the majority of the points today?
Right, I think combo-wise, Stacked is going to take it with the direction of Admirable, but flanks can turn games on this map, and I think the one that Unpoppable has is going to be stronger. So it's really anyone's game at this point. I think it might actually come down to pick classes in the flank more so than the combo.
Interesting. I mean, at the start of the season, if you'd asked me about that, I would have said, yeah, Steel against Unpoppable, that's 6 points, easy. But looking at this team, I'm not sure how much they've scrimmed with these players. But the fact that they've got 3 mercs and, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 subs, it just seems very chaotic for a map that's as team-orientated as Steel. So I can see Unpoppable winning around here. Whether they win all of the rounds or, a majority of the rounds, I'm not sure. But if they can get Shadowburn going, if they can leash Sorex, they can let Sorex run around and do his work, then, Stacked are going to be in a brilliant position. But if they get Shadowburn going, then, this could go either way.
Oh yeah, if chess is anything to go by, then Scout on Steel can do a lot of work. Sorex is probably on the level of Atomic. If he spent more than 6 hours on DM, as he usually does.
So Ferry probably he's another up-and-coming player, I guess. Not many people have heard about him. Another Polish Pyro. Something about Poland and Pyro, Steve. I mean,
yeah,
give us a bit of background.
I'm not sure.
On that.
I don't speak to anyone from Poland anymore, other than Problem. But it's either some kind of a lot of the Holocaust happened in Poland, so I guess we'll just burn people anyway. Or it's or they're like, wow, Steve's Polish and he's really good Pyro. I'm going to play Pyro too, and all the talents go into this trash class. I'm not sure which it is.
So what you're saying is you inspired a generation of Polish people to play Pyro.
Exactly.
Maybe. Not to mention, let's not forget about other Polish Pyros. There's Lex. There is Jedi Flamaster. There is there's Morphine. She's Polish, isn't she? I heard somewhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, totally. We are going live soon, I've been told, but we're just waiting now. So looking at these two teams' kind of aspirations for the rest of the season, even at the end of last season when sort of Beep and the rest of, Stacked wrote up this roster for this season, it looks insanely strong. As we've seen, like you said, it's been very turbulent. It's been ever changing over the course of the first 4 match days. Can you see Stacked getting away into the top 3 playoffs? And if not, conversely, Unpoppable, do you see them being a team that's going to finish on the bottom and struggle to get out of the relegation scrap?
Well, since Unpoppable, they drew against Wasp. If they can take points of Stacked as well, then they can probably finish in like the middle of the table somewhere, 4 or 5. I definitely don't see Stacked in the top 3 because like the Chess Club, Highlander, and us are like a level above the rest, I think.
Okay. We're still waiting for it's your take on that. Yeah, I mean, looking at the other games, we have got a few other games later on. And after this week is over, we're over halfway over the season. We've got 7 match days, and this is week 4. So we'll have 3 more games to go, and kind of shaping the table up already. Tourette's Chess Club do currently have a perfect record. They haven't lost any maps so far. See them taking the top spot, or do you think any of the rest of the teams can sort of make a late surge and take some maps off them and maybe change that, or do you think there's nothing stopping them going into the playoffs?
I think they're probably going to finish first, but the teams that get into playoffs underneath them on the tables are still more than capable of beating them when it actually matters. So they'll probably finish first. They'll probably be quite lax because they won't have any playoffs to worry about. They might even scrim less than the rest, and it might catch them off. Isn't that a curse now in Highlander? If you finish first and you don't win, that's a thing,
That
right?
is, yeah. I mean, the only time it hasn't come about was 2 seasons ago in season 7, which Chess Club, coincidentally won. But no, season 3, no, season 4. I can't remember. But basically, the teams that finished first over the course of the season have gone on to lose the playoffs pretty much every season. Daratutu beat SNSD in season 4. Season 5, Killswitch beat Highlander in the final. Season 6, Highlander beat It's All Good. And in season 7, Chess Club didn't finish first and went on to win the playoffs. But then again, last season, Highlander finished
It's All
first.
Good wasn't first in the tables, were they?
Yeah, they were.
Really?
Yeah.
The fuck? Oh, because there was like Lakeside and Inso. And then Inso switched to Sniper because he thought he was good enough to do well on something that isn't Spy. And we all know how well that went, right, guys? Right?
Twitch, what are your thoughts on the class swapping antics?
Oh, yeah.
Admirable has been kicked from the server. I'm not sure if that's a tactical move by Unpoppable. Stacked do not have their medic. They will struggle a bit, I'm sure. We're just waiting. We're waiting for the last few players to come into the server, but we will be following the action of this game to its finale, whether that's 2 round or 3. And then afterwards, we'll be moving on to the second match of the day. It'll be me and Steve again, so get used to our voices. We'll be with you all night. Hopefully starting at 21, but more than likely going to be starting later. And that will be Highlander versus Wasp. Now, last week, Highlander dropped 2 points against the Experiment. The first points Experiment actually picked up over the season so far. And, for some people, well, actually for everybody, it was an upset. I mean, it was about 90, it was like 26-1 odds, I think, on Saloon. So if you bet a key on the Experiment last week, you would have won 26 keys worth of items simply because they won a round and they had a little boost in the rating. Yeah, 3-point handicap. So, crazy. I mean, can you see Wasp getting any points in that game?
I think the throw with Experiments would have probably been a good wake-up call for Highlander. I don't see them dropping anything on Steel. When I played on Highlander, we were always quite good in how we played it. Hildreff's, got good calls, keeps his head on his shoulders for most of the time. And that's basically what you need to win on Steel is, clear comms, kind of direction, where you want your combo going, so the flank can react to it as well. It's like a nice kind of symbiotic relationship. there between comms and the scores.
Interesting.
Hey, Russian comms are very efficient. You just say klassen and minus, and that's all you have to say ever. So they could also have really good comms. Sorry, no, that's Ukraine, right? Wasp is not Ukrainian?
Well,
My
they have a
apologies.
Ukrainian flag now, and
Right.
majority of their roster is Ukrainian. So, yeah. I mean, we can take a look at the Nations Cup as an example. Russia finished in 3rd place, and Ukraine finished in 2nd. So those two teams were the best teams in the Nations Cup, aside from the winners, Sweden. And both teams picked steel, like a hell of a lot. They really, really liked playing steel, and they were very, very good at it. I think the only time they lost it was when, well, for Ukraine at least, they lost it against Russia in the group stage, and Russia lost eventually in the semi-final to Sweden, who had to kind of pull their fingers out a lot in the second map to really turn things around.
Sorry, they did what? Pulled their fingers out?
Pull their fingers out, yeah. You not heard that expression?
I have never heard of that.
Oh.
Do shed some light on this.
I'm not sure where the fingers were, but they have to pull them out from somewhere. Google it.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, so...
Maybe it's a Spanish thing.
No, it's a British thing, I swear.
Right.
We don't have a phrase like that in Spain.
Okay,
I've only heard it here.
Carlos. Okay.
But basically, Russia and Ukraine were very good, and seeing as the majority of those players play for Wasp and Unpoppable, I wouldn't be surprised to see some cheeky AE strats going on. And yeah, I mean,
crits
once you kind of crits as well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
all sorts. And once you kind of get that lightning round, it's kind of quite hard to recover from it because it reduces your options when you're attacking. And it forces you to go to that AE strat yourself. You haven't really practiced it much as a team, then kind of can be a bit of a struggle. But we do have 9 on each team, Steve. It has actually 9v9 on the server. We may be going live imminently. That is the hope.
Oh yeah, 25 minutes past scheduled time. That sounds about right to what usually happens.
Yeah, I mean, John's given us the 90-second warning. He did give one of those to us about 10 minutes ago, so John is a filthy liar. But we'll see whether he is telling the truth this time. I'm going to ask you for one more prediction, Steve, if I may. How many pit deaths do you think are going to happen today?
Like 7.
7? Oh, wow.
Lucky
okay.
7. There's going to be one Uber push where 3 or 4 people are going to fall off, and then there's going to be Catman walking into the pit when they win the 2nd and 3rd round.
Well, in celebration.
Yep.
Wins the points, he's just going to jump in.
And I know this because
himself.
I set my ping to an hour. I can see into the future.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. That's how ping works.
Did you put your Saloon TF bets down in time?
Oh, no. I don't do gambling.
Why? You should. It's fun. You should always gamble, kids.
That's exactly what people say right before they lose their life savings and their family, and they're just left with a balding head, pizza every day, and some mediocre TF2 stream.
Hey.
Sorry. I think I was a bit too harsh.
It's not mediocre.
You should
definitely check out my stream. Do not listen to Steve. It's a prime example of a perfect TF2, and I don't eat pizza every day. That is a lie. That is Raptor you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we are live. We have stacked in the blue. They'll be setting the time first off with Unpoppable in the red, and they will be defending, and then we'll try and beat Stack's time. And we do not have any kind of different mediguns. That both teams are on the default mediguns. See if Admirable changes. I mean, I heard from Admirable, or I heard about Admirable, that he really, really liked the quick fix. He used it pretty much exclusively on King of the Hill and 5CP, but it's not very good in pushing on this. But it'll be interesting to see if he actually uses something different over the course of this game. For those of you who've not played Steel in a competitive format, generally you do not defend A because it's quite hard to defend A and B simultaneously. All of the defenses really go on to B, which is where we can see Unpoppable now. A stacked push. They do take an MSH, but they are just going to cap this A point, and there is a level 3 being built by Ulba, and I've just been wondering where he's going to be taking that, Steve.
Well, that's always fun to watch. He's probably going to try to take it around the D point and on to the 2nd E spawn. the strongest probably plays for Sentry. Well, initially it's going to be White Room definitely, but even once you take control of White Room, it's usually not enough unless you commit your whole team to like an E push. So we'll probably just see the usual kind of muscling through the B corridor and what's gonna happen now? Is there gonna be a sniper in the window? Is your medic gonna drop? Ah, he did drop, but he didn't drop the Uber, he drops his demo. And the first, not even an Uber exchange, the first Uber popped by Blue, completely denied by the one crucial head click from, what is it? Who's the sniper run? Fuzz!
On Fuzz, yeah, Fuzz key.
Fuzz clicks on the demo man.
There seemed to be a bit of a miscommunication there from Stacked, as he still came in and sapped the Sentry, but no one really came in and spammed it at all. It took no damage from any other source. And then the Uber came in much later on, and it just kind of fell dud there. Admirable is back onto 60% now, but...
And he's back onto White Room as well.
Oh yeah, they're going behind. I don't know if that's been called. It
That's
has
a
been,
conch
because
behind.
Unpoppable are rotating now through to the E point, and they do have Hex on the point with that conch. And Sorix is joining him, so we've got ×3 on the final point. That final point gets capped. That is round over. And Admirable nearly at that 100% already. So Unpoppable haven't popped their Uber yet. And it's going to be equal. And Catman gets sniped there by Yaug. They do have Yaug on that level 3 in the E point. And that is going to be really, really hard to hold. Ferry does go down, but Sentry has gone down from Toba. And Unpoppable are just bleeding players here. 5 players down. They've got this Uber. They haven't used it whatsoever. And this is all going wrong for Unpoppable right now. They've got Shadowburn.
There's the force from the Red Scout.
Yeah, but they've got half the cap down, Steve. They need to do something to defend this point, and Shadowburn needs to do a hell of a lot.
I'm afraid this is it. This is the round, guys. This is how it ends.
Oh, and
and
wonderful.
I'm going to go ahead and predict that this is after the round ended. They decided to take some time and appreciate that they just got wrecked. You can't just say that, John.
But they can't hear what John says.
Oh,
it's a secret.
John didn't say anything. He just called me a mean word, guys. Never mind that.
Yeah, it's definitely pyro abuse going on in this mumble right now. But we do have a pause.
Do you see a comeback coming here, CeeJaey? What do you think the red team has to pull off to make a comeback here?
What, in this round?
In this specific situation that we can see on our
In this specific
screens.
situation, I think, to put it politely, they're screwed. In the space of the first, however long it's been, probably a minute 30, if that, maybe, it's longer than that. It's got to be sort of 2.5 minutes, something like that. Enia hasn't used his Uber at all. He's at 100%, sat on B the entire time. Admirable, meanwhile, has popped an Uber on B. It went wrong. They rotated round through to White Room. He's popped another Uber. Didn't really get much done. But the flank from Stacked has done a hell of a lot in cleaning up the players. But Stacked have got this setup. This is the AE push that the Russians and the Ukrainians did in the Nations Cup so often, that we saw Wasp do a lot last season, that we've seen teams try and do, but it seems this group of players had it down pat, and Stacked using it against them. You get your team into the E point, you cap the A, you go through White Room, you out muscle out the flank from the defending team, you get your demo sticking up the doorway from the spawn from B, you get your sniper in this little window up here. He can watch all the way into the spawn room. He's protected by the engineer, who's got a level 3 up there, which also watches the point and watches through the E spawn, like the E side of the spawn. So if anyone tries to rotate around, they're going to get a face full of sentry. You get your soldier, your scout, as we are on pause again, and Hex jumps off the point, but Sorix jumps straight back onto it, and the Uber is finally used from Unpoppable, and that heavy does force Sorix off the point. They do pick up some kills, but Unpoppable are losing a lot of players here. Catman taking so much damage, is going to take down Toby. He's very weak. Enia stays alive, and that cap does stop. But Hex jumps back onto it, and the demo then... Oh, Shadowburn gets destroyed by the sentries, just tries to drop down. That sentry's just going to get hit by the Rescue Ranger. And they've got good position, Steve, but they don't have players on the point just yet.
Now as you say that, the combo dies to Pyro and Spy. And so does the red medic. This isn't looking good for the red team. Seems Stacked has a pretty good window now. Yep.
Just going to do a hard reload.
It's almost the opposite of what I predicted. Because I thought that Stacked would have a stronger combo. But by those Uber exchanges, 2 of them went in Unpoppable's way. and it was the flank of Stacked actually winning out on the Unpoppable flank. So I was right, but not really. I was the opposite of right, but not wrong. I was just, you know.
The opposite of right is not wrong. You heard it first, guys.
It's left. You know, I was left basically. Yeah.
We've got 3 minutes and 9 seconds posted on the board by Stacked, which is a very decent time indeed. That's a fast time. It's not the fastest, but anything around the 3-minute mark is very, very fast indeed. The game was paused, someone disconnected, Ferry is back now. Stacked are going to be on the defense, and, well, Unpoppable have to do the same. They have to go for that E point, or they have to be very, very quick on the A, B, C, D, E push. And here we go, we are going again. We see nobody on the A point except for the scouts. Are just scouting out as well with Hex, just having a look, having a cheeky look, seeing what's coming. They see Shadowburn and they wisely back off. As soon as you see that Scorching Hat and that Australian Black Blocks, I think you want to run away. Do you think Unpoppable can grab this? Do you think they're going to go for the AE push? And
not after what just happened to Isil. Sorry. Actually, Isil is on Stacked, so maybe after all. No,
I mean,
like
a spy pick,
that's
huge.
It seems unlikely that they'll be able to get the sentry in as good a position as Alba had it, because of how much pressure there already is on White Room. So in this specific situation, I think it would be wise to take B, especially since it's completely empty at the moment, to kind of move back the red spawns onto the less good spawn.
Yeah, the Ubers are exchanged in the White Room, and Unpoppable are doing well here, but the backslap comes in from Isil, takes down Ernia. But in all of that, the sniper and the heavy did go down for Stacked, but Toba there, big sticks, takes down Catman and Unlimited, and then Shadowburn gets cleaned up. There is a level 3 here, and Sorix takes a face full of sentry rockets and dies. And Unpoppable have decent positioning here, but so do Stacked. They are in a great position to defend this. Toba cleans up the engineer, Max there, and his sentry. Fuzz does take down Yao because they do have sniper advantage, but with 1 minute and 40 on the clock. They need to dislodge this combo, and it's not going to happen unless they make a move soon. Heavy comes in, Catman gets a lot of damage onto Hex, he has to back off, and it looks like Stack's just backing off towards D. Isil there trying to just scare people off, but Toba, as soon as he's got the stickies in comes the Uber with the conch combo, and it's just going to force Unpoppable back, and it's not looking good for them right now, as they bleed far too many players to make this push worthwhile.
Well, they do have an Uber advantage now, about 40% now. It's going down because the blue medic isn't healing, but they have time for one more push comfortably, and then after that it's going to be rushing to the point and scrambling. They have to stop bleeding. Players. Hello, am I back? I am back. Something happened. Hello? I think CeeJaey's dead. Oh, is that guy? But I am still here. And we are still live, and Stack takes the first round as kind of expected. But the big thing here is not to let it get to you. Welcome back, CeeJaey. I was panicking. I was saying a lot and stuff.
Yeah, I was hearing. I was
like watching
talking to myself.
It's like watching a Cherry Rendezvous interview.
I could hear you, but you couldn't hear me. But there we are. So Unpoppable didn't manage to cap the point in the end by the looks of it, and Stacked winning the first round. And bit of a surprise, you think? Not in the fact that Stacked won it, but maybe in the fashion of the way that they went around it, and getting that AE push pretty much down pat.
Yeah, it was very efficient, and it's really nice to see a team not get discouraged when they lose an Uber exchange. They dropped that demo on A, or on B, sorry. But they were like, okay, shit happens, this is how we recover, and they go to White Room, decisively, just do whatever they can do best. and it works out for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I said before the game, if a team does get a fast time, it pretty much means you have to exclusively defend that E point. Attack that E point, because the time doesn't really allow for much else. And Stacks know that. Once they've set a fast time, they know Unpoppable are going to have to go for that E point, and so they just rotate the entirety of their combo around to block that AE spawn door, or the entrance door, I should say, in the white room. Once they've done that, if Unpoppable, all they can really do there is hope they get a drop or hope they win the Uber on Uber, post-fight, but they didn't, and from then it's just an uphill struggle and you're just constantly fighting against the clock. But well played by Stacked to take the first round. We are going to see Unpoppable on the blue this time. They will be attacking first and setting the time, with Stacked in the red defending, and they will be trying to beat the time this time. And I'll just be wondering if Unpoppable... Oh, Shadowburn with the direct hit! Lands two straight onto Hex and takes him down.
Another one for the frag folder.
You got Shadowburned there, and looks like Max is there with a level 2, and it does look like Unpoppable maybe doing this cheeky AE push themselves, as they have a lot of players there.
Already behind on the BC corridor, ready to go in. So now it's all up to...
Look at Catman! What's Catman? Oh, he's in the window, looking
Catman?
at the E point. I'm not sure what he's doing there. He's spotted the soldier! He's actually doing a lot of damage!
Ah, close, but not enough.
Really interesting positioning there from the heavy, and he didn't kill anything, but he got a lot of distraction, which has allowed Unpoppable to take this white room. And there goes Max with his sentry. He's going to be taking it around to the E point and trying to get his sniper Fuzz there. Sniper got a good Fuzz got a good angle on the door, and this is all about the execution now. If
and they blew the whistle.
Get this right.
The whistle is blown. The Uber is dropped. First Cherry going in on his own, then I think the Scout dying on his own. People are just going in one by one, beating players, and dropping your medic didn't help, definitely, but it was going wrong already from the start. You really need coordination here, you need people going in at the same time, which isn't what was happening there for blue.
Yeah, exactly. You need that coordination, and it's all about the execution on a map like this especially, but if you're going to go for those strats, you need to have the execution down perfectly. But Unpoppable are getting decent camp time on the B point. I don't think Stacks are going to even try to block this anymore. It's only Toba launching the odd sticky here and there onto the combo. Unlimited and Anya there take the B point. 1 minute 51 is pretty decent, and each time you cap a point on Steel, you get faster spawn times. You have faster spawn times than the enemy team anyway, but by the time you cap the C point, it's pretty much instant respawn times. And just to add, Steve, Hex did fall into the pit, so I'm not sure how many pit deaths that is.
I think that's the first one, sadly. I'd like to take note that there's a very sneaky tally on the first B spawn for red. Oh. It might be a play in the making from Hex or Sorax. Oh, as we trade Ubers in the BC corridor. Oh, I see it! It's happening!
No, Ferry goes down!
God damn it. The prediction failed. That was almost the one I said, 3 or 4 players dying to the pit.
Yeah.
Not quite. Oh, there's the spy. Can he get Toba? He gets Toba. Can he get the medic? He doesn't even try. But it's probably enough, as the heavy's pushing on to C. And blue is most likely gonna just roll it through C. And this is
they are getting cap time on E as well, Steve. I mean, MSH has been doing a grand job of just jumping on that E point and getting that distraction, forcing players to rotate and killing anyone who gets close. Sorax did take down the demo Unlimited, but it does look like, oh no, the repush on C means that cap is stopped, but ×4 on E. This is what Steel is all about, getting that distraction. They have the demo and the scout. The demo obviously running the paint train with that extra ×2. On comes Sorax, loses the battle against MSH.
And this is where the decision making comes to play in the biggest way possible. Oh, but Ferry clutched it. If Ferry didn't clutch that there, that was really dangerous for red. Because this is where they have to decide what they're going to do next. They've got a pretty good spawn wave of 7 seconds. They just have to decide, okay, will we go C, will we go white room, how are we going to approach this? And if they make the wrong call, this could possibly mean the round for them. Although the blue respawns are quite in disarray, so to speak.
Yeah, there's players just throwing themselves as Olber's sentry goes down there. combination of Unlimited and Shadowburn. They have got ×4 on the point. So much damage on the stack combo, and they're just getting cleaned up. But most importantly, those classes that can cap the point have died, so it's only Shadowburn left who can actually reach the point now. He's going to get flared from behind. I'm not sure if he knows Ferry is there. It does now as he's on fire, as Charizard uses that detonator jump to get onto the point. ×2 on there. If they can get it quickly, Admirable in the air, gets headshot from Fuzz. And that is a 4:25 time, Steve. Not as fast as the previous round, but that's pretty decent. I think I'm probably happy with that.
It's better than last round, certainly. But rookie mistake happening as well. The medic from Blue in here was running to A alone, and he got picked up by the scout. This is where I thought, okay, Red can hold it. They can turn it around. But it wasn't enough. Toba got some really good frags on the point, but they just fell apart. It seems maybe that they weren't. They didn't have enough foresight to think, okay, we've got some players up now, but if we wait 5 seconds, there's going to be 3 or 4 men more of us, and we can go another combo together, kind of overwhelm them with our numbers. They didn't really think that. They just wanted to go as soon as possible and ignite that point, which is frankly really sad to see.
Maybe not
in
the
hindsight,
coordination.
It's 5 seconds. It's 5 seconds, and you can have such a stronger push.
Yeah, just that little bit more patience could have led to a lot more time on that cap. But in the chat, in the game, comments being made on the fact that it's 4:25, which is obviously the name of one of the Russian Sixers teams of old. Maybe Unpoppable are going to see that and think, yes, it's a sign. 4:25, our Premiership Sixes brethren. They're going to get the energy from that.
Well,
they're going to take the next
going
rounds.
through their head right now, then they probably won't take it.
And we have seen Stacked take this A point already. 3 minutes and 45 left on the clock. And it's an interesting kind of spread here of the players. Sorik's just peeking on B at the moment. He's got the intel now. Isil is there on top, nice and cloaked, as Toba just tried to sticky snipe stuff. And in comes Isil onto the sap, and that is much better coordinated than in the first round when it was far too early. And in comes Morty, and he gets so much damage down. Catman is under a lot of pressure. Uber must be forced soon. But it's not Balls of Steel, as Catman is so low. And Stacked have to flash so many people. Catman walking forward. This might be a mistake here. Trying to catch out Toba and Admirable as they retreat. But they do a great job.
Catman doesn't make mistakes, CeeJaey. Please. And it all started with Morty going drop down and kind of establishing a position. Quite risky as well, because there was a Sentry and a Heavy watching him, but he kept his cool and he got the demo, his demo and the space he needed to really make it happen. And we see Blue taking the point. It's extremely unlikely here for Red to try and contest this. They have no
Even
medic,
more
they have a
unlikely since
75
Sorik's just got a med pick, Steve. Took down Enia on the retreat. So no med now for Unpoppable for the next 10 seconds, which is huge as Stacked have already taken control of the BC connector. That B cap is going down very, very slowly. It's not going to help their spawns at all, capping it that slowly. They do get times thrown it in the end. But 2 minutes 15 left on the clock. I'm asking you right now, can they do it? Is this going to be a quick 2-rounder, or are we going to see a 3rd round?
Well, this is not how we do it. We don't go C, because we only have 2 minutes. And yeah, their priorities are in shambles. If they spend more than like another 30 seconds pushing C, then they're basically in rush mode. Oh, but Catman goes down. This could be something, but is it going to be something?
Oh, Shadowburn! It's the air shot, but Admirable pops that Uber. He forces it using that direct hit. That would have been a guaranteed drop there, but Admirable pops it, hits that right click at just the right time. 4 players left alive from Unpoppable. One of those is Enia. He's on 70%. Uber, 1 minute 30 left on the clock. There's ×2 on both the C point and the E point. As Sorix is getting free cap time there. And they have a mini sentry. Olba is there. Isil is there as well. And if they don't stop this E point, they're in big trouble. Unlimited getting some sticks down does take down Sorix.
That was crucial there. If he didn't do that, I think they might have actually lost the round right there. Because this is, once it gets so close, you can have people. Oh, because C is capped. Yeah. Once he gets, above half, it's when Red starts scrambling and panicking, almost.
Yeah, and capping that C point does extend the bridge.
Fail.
The Uber is popped from Unpoppable, but they're not focusing the right things as the stacked combo come in from behind and just blitz them. Down goes Toba, he falls into the pit. So demo
Absolute
down, but only
chaos.
2 players left alive. 40 seconds left to go. Unpoppable do not have very many players alive. They need to wait for the respawns and block this E point. Stacked aren't stacking it just at 30 seconds to go. If nobody stops this point soon, then Stacked are going to take this game at 2-0. 20 seconds left on the clock. They need to get somebody up and alive and onto that point. MSA tries to just run into it, but gets destroyed there by Sorix, and Stacked are going to take it.
And it was such a good call for Stacked to go around the corridor, because you saw the pincer maneuver happen on Espawn, and that's all probably up to Admirable to make that call. If they decided to go BC instead, then perhaps Unpoppable would have been able to react better, because they would have just had one entrance to cover BC instead of 2 at once. So it's not just flanks that win you games. It's also, as it happens, good calls on the combo.
You heard it here first. That's the secret to winning Steel, guys. It's the calls. It's the communication from your team.
You have to steel yourself. Be ready to make the difficult decisions.
Yes. Oh god,
Yes.
the puns. But there we go,
You're
guys.
the one who said shadow burned. You started it, CeeJaey.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. So there we go, Stacked winning both rounds there. Looked like Unpoppable may have been able to claw a round back, but it's Stacked who take the full 6 points for their second win of the season.
They do
and
so in an
Unpoppable
admirable fashion. Huh? Get it? Admirable fashion?
Yeah. Great.
Toba continued. Huh?
Stop. Stop it now. So
Are
that is
you
the game over now. I'm
mortified
just
by
going to
my
ignore. I'm going to
puns?
pretend there's nobody else
Is
here.
it
I'm on my own.
mortifying?
It's a solo cast. So Unpoppable still languishing near the bottom of the table with 3 points from their first 4 games, and Stacked will be going on to next week mid-table and in a position to maybe vie for those playoffs. Bets have been verified on Saloon.tf, guys. So if you bet on this game, and you bet on Stacked, you can go and collect your winnings. You've also got about 10-15 minutes until the next game starts. That is Highlander versus Wasp. That'll be casted on this channel. Once again, me and Steve will be taking you through it. Hopefully less puns from my main friend
ready.
here. Over on BlackOut Gaming TV 2, if you fancy watching Fair Enough versus The Experiment instead, there will be a cast over there. Same map, same time. You'll have to decide, or you can multi-twitch it and watch 2 times of Steel at the same time. How glorious does that sound? Glorious it does!
It sounds like a day of scrims in our Steel week.
It does indeed.
4 days in a row of 2 hours of Steel scrims.
Yeah, that was great. My logs just said CP Steel down for like a whole page. It was a wonderful time of my
You're trying to
life.
say you didn't play any lobbies in that time?
No, I have this thing called a job, Steve, which
What's
unfortunately a job is the thing where they give you money when you do services for them.
Like who is it that wiped people's butts for money? Someone did that, right? I recall. Kazoo. Kazoo had a caretaking job.
I'm gonna ignore Steve and say to John, do we have any interviews from that game? Is anyone going to be jumping into Mumble? Not at the moment. So there we go, guys. Go and collect your winnings from this game if you bet on Stacked, or just take your winnings and bet on another game. You can bet on the next round on the next set of matches. You've got about 10 minutes to go. Highlander versus Wasp and Fair Enough versus The Experiment. They'll be happening in about 10 minutes. For now, I think we'll take a break then, I guess, if we've got nobody jumping in for interviews. We'll be back soon for the next game. We'll be bringing you through more CP Steel action. I've been CeeJaey. With me has been Steve and John.
Hopefully you'll still be CeeJaey once we go live in 10 minutes.